Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our first guest of tonight is Laney Dimezza. Welcome, Laney.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Pleasure
neighborhood.
To be here.
We just remembered that we had a previous working relationship
We did,
back in the
yes.
day. And it's awesome to see former mortgage people still in the business. And there are so many people that I remember from the business that are doing something else. So it's great to see people kind of stay around and do different things.
Right, but in a much different capacity.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
This is awesome. That was terrible.
That sucked for a while. That really sucked. This is great. So before we get into the right now stuff that you do, talk a little bit about your journey, whether it's like right out of high school. How did you get from school to present day Laney? Like a little bit of your journey in your life and the bumps along the road getting here.
I'll make it quick.
Sure. You can make it long if you want. It's okay. Whichever way.
Well, I met my now ex-husband in the same hangar that Top Gun was filmed in.
That's
like
pretty
the
sweet.
Original Top Gun.
That's
not
an awesome
the most
beginning
recent
story
one.
here.
Yeah.
Not what I expected.
So he was stationed at Miramar Naval Base, and I was the sister of his best friend's wife.
Okay.
So kind of long story there. But anyways, so we met in the hangar. He had just gotten back from Okinawa, Japan, and we were going to be roommates, and that lasted not very long, 4 days. And then 4 years later, I married him, and he's actually from Blackwood, New Jersey.
Okay.
So that's how I transitioned from California out here to New Jersey.
A little bit of a change from Miramar
big
to
change
Blackwood.
from San Diego to Runnymede.
Same thing. Relatively the same.
So at the time, I was working for the First American companies. First American Title, First American Credco was actually where I was working for. And they actually had an outside sales position open up right here in the tri-state area. So I was covering New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, all working for them in their outside sales team. So after I finished with that job, then I transitioned to where I met you, which was First National Bank of Arizona. So I've been in the real estate related fields now for 20-something years. But when the mortgage market crashed back in 07, 08, I found myself wondering, what am I going to be when I grow up?
Yeah, of course. What's the next step in the journey?
Right. So I did have the luxury of being able to just kind of find myself for a little bit. My husband was working for a good company at the time, and I was just able to kind of putz around and see what I wanted to do. And I picked up a camera just to have fun with it. Okay. And immediately I was like, I can turn this into a business. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
Within 6 months, I had a business going.
That is awesome.
And I was doing a lot of portraits, a lot of glamour stuff. I worked at PJ Wellahans at the time.
Okay.
I was waitressing in order to save up like quick cash to buy my first camera.
Okay.
So, of course, being surrounded by the waitresses and bartenders, it was very easy to get models to come and shoot with me. So my background is in portraiture. But when I got a divorce, it was like, uh-oh. How am I going to do my photography?
This has to be a career now. Right.
Yes, exactly. Okay, growing up time now. It can't just be fun weekend
Chapter
stuff.
5.
Like, I have to be able to do this Monday through Friday when I have childcare available so that I can have my weekends to be with my son. And real estate was the answer.
That is awesome. How did that become the answer? Was it just like
because nobody gets married on a Tuesday.
But how did you get introduced to it actually being a business? Did someone say, hey, do this for me? Or did it just come to you like, hey, this is the way I should go my direction?
I had a friend ask me at the time. He was a real estate agent. Okay. He says, by any chance, do you do real estate photography? Do you have like a wide angle lens? And I said, no. And that just got the wheels turning. Right. And he still is my client to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the development? Was it like you did work for him and then word of mouth kind of spread, or did you do any type of advertising and promotion and all that kind of stuff?
So kind of a cool story.
Okay.
My son was having some ear, nose, and throat issues, so we went to the ENT doctor, and just like we have here, there was a magazine sitting on the coffee table, and it was top 40 of New Jersey, and it was the top 40 real estate agents, and so I ripped that page right out. Sorry, ENT doctor, you're missing a page. And I went home and I emailed everybody.
Nice.
And yeah, I have to say, can I say names?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
all right.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah.
Deborah Sable from Long and Foster was key
Okay.
to me getting my business
For sure.
started. She was my number one cheerleader. She started using me and just really like helped me spread the word throughout her office, and it exploded.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like on fire after that. So it's been a lot of trial and error
Sure.
as far as what works best for me, but I'm really in the groove now.
Okay. Now, with a lot of the new modern technologies, are you doing anything with drone pictures or, virtual open houses or anything like that with all the crazy stuff that goes on, especially with COVID, where you couldn't really go in and out or be around? What are you doing to separate yourself from other photographers in the industry?
That's a great question because it really does matter.
Sure.
A lot of photographers aren't doing everything, and I think it's really important to have products that you can offer everybody. So yes, I've been flying a drone for 10 years now.
Really?
Maybe about 9-10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. I've broken my foot over the drone chasing after it in the middle of Camden.
Another fun story. Running
Yeah,
through
that'll
Camden,
be a
chasing my drone.
different day.
On episode 2.
But I am a licensed drone pilot. Now, many people don't know this, but in order to fly commercially and use a drone commercially for any type of industry, you have to be an FAA licensed drone pilot with your Part 107 license. So I obtained that about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I have that. And you have to have aviation insurance. There's all kinds of things that
How
go into
how
it.
does one go about being a licensed drone instructor? Is it like you have to take online courses, or do you have to go somewhere and fly? Like, is it a remote control? I don't even know how.
So it's actually just a written book test.
Okay.
So you don't actually have to fly for an instructor,
So you
which
can
is
actually
kind of scary.
You can suck at the job as long as you know the stuff. Oh, sweet.
That's right.
That is my kind of job, man. Pass a book test, you can suck at the application.
Right.
Okay.
So just pass the test, make sure that you know the rules and regulations. I mean, it's a pretty intensive
Sure,
test.
sure.
Not necessarily as intensive as the real estate exam, but I studied for a good 8 months
Okay.
for it, kind of on and off kind of thing.
Now, is there someone that would report you, or would you get in trouble if is there a way for them to find out, like, hey, you're illegally operating these drone pictures? Do you have to file stuff, or is there like a drone king that goes around and checks out all your paperwork and says,
I'm not sure about all industries, but I do know in the real estate industry that yes, absolutely, it is monitored on the MLS. So if you're contacted and you have drone images that you're using on a listing and you can't provide your
Wow.
photographer's license and insurance, you can be fined $11,000 per incident.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's a whole lot of
So if you got
pictures
3
taken. Yeah.
listings that have drone pictures without a licensed drone pilot, that's a big chunk of change right there.
Nice. What are you doing for your own promotion now, as far as like, are you doing social media campaigns? Do you belong to networking groups? Are you doing meet and greet events? How do you get the public to know who Laney is?
I'm going to say 99.9% is all word of mouth.
Okay.
Very little on social media.
Okay.
However, that is about to change.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've started making a big push to kind of shift, with the real estate market doing what it is right now. You've got a lot of homes that are selling for over asking. The reason why is because there's not a lot of inventory.
Sure.
So when there's not a lot of inventory, there's not a lot of homes for us to shoot.
Sure.
So our business goes down, even though the market is hot. So I've kind of had to reinvent myself a little bit, and now I'm really transitioning into helping other business people, whether it be in the real estate industry, which I kind of keep it close, but other industries as well, helping them branch out and doing their visual marketing for social media. So as a result of that, I've been kind of doing my own as well.
Okay. What about like roofing companies and stuff like that? Are you doing any type of aerial pictures for them? Are you doing any type of connected businesses to real estate, but not necessarily real estate?
Yeah, so recently I signed on with a fence company down in Atlantic County. So we're working on that. That's in the process. I have done jobs for roofing companies, but right now it's the spring market, so
Right.
I'm so busy right now
Right.
that things are going to slow down a little bit, and then that's when I'll be,
Nice.
reaching out to those
Nice.
types of companies.
Okay. Now, on a personal level,
Okay.
what do you do to make you the best version of Laney? Are you like a podcast person, a meditation person, a self-development person? What do you do to clear your head and not make you want to strangle your kids and drive off the road when you're coming home from a bad interview or something, you know?
I hit the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there probably about 6 days a week. I like to be there
Right.
6 days a week. That realistically, who
Okay.
are we kidding, right?
Right.
But no, I love. I take this hip hop step class.
Okay.
So absolutely love it. Zumba toning is really good.
All right.
But if it's not those two classes, then I'm typically on the weight room floor
Okay.
lifting.
You're crushing some bench presses and.
Yeah.
All right, all right. What are you listening to when you're working out? Are you heavy metal, old school rap, or slow like podcasty inspirational stuff?
I have a playlist that I share with my best friend who's
Okay.
a bodybuilder, and we just keep adding to it
Okay.
and just kind of curating it. So it's a mixture of rap, country, house.
Country? How can you work out the country music? It makes you want to beat your kids and have picket
Break
fences
up
and
with your
stuff.
boyfriend,
Right.
drink a beer.
I definitely could not be working out. I need like Rage Against the Machine or Pantera or
There's actually a lot of really good country remixes that I've discovered that mix a lot of like the dance stuff with the country stuff
Okay.
that are actually quite catchy.
All
You'd
right.
be surprised.
All right, and you talked a little bit about your son. How do you incorporate mom with business, and how do you develop boundaries? Because when I talk to a lot of people, especially women in the industry, they do tend to struggle with being able to separate business from family life. And how do you not answer the phone all the time, and how do you set that up where you're not having them spill over into each other?
That's a good question. I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's difficult when you're in the middle of dinner, you get a text, and it's like, do I want to put this off now, or do I just want to quickly get it over with?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a rule that no phones at the dinner table, so we do set that aside.
Okay.
But it is a struggle. Sure, I'm right with those other women.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Especially because you're self-employed. It's not like you're a W-2 employee where it's like, whatever, I get my check, blah, blah, blah. When your your financial wellness is based on that person on the other end of the phone being satisfied with your work, it's difficult,
Right.
for sure.
And response time, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just my agents that are waiting on me. It's homeowners that are getting ready to sell their houses that are waiting on me to respond to find out, okay, when are we going to push for this? Like, what's our deadline? Let's get something on the books. So, and, attention span these days with everybody is very, very short.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you got to keep up. And
Yeah.
certainly if something goes unanswered right now, it could easily slip through the cracks.
Sure.
So I do try and keep up on everything. But absolutely, there are times where we just put away the phone. We go out into the driveway, we move the cars, we play a little tennis. My son is in ice hockey, so
Okay.
I was actually just filming. I guess that's kind of a little bit of a work overlap too. But
sure.
last night I was doing some videography for him because he wanted to see what he looked like out there
Nice.
on the ice. So
And how old is he?
He's 13.
Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's getting into that, taking athletics a little more seriously, I would think now.
Yes.
When you get into that.
Yeah, and actually, he just signed up for my gym. So
Okay.
now it's a whole family thing. And so we work out together and we do strength training, and it's a way for us to bond,
Nice.
which is really good. Like, I feel really nice about him participating in that type of healthy activity with me, because up until now I haven't been able to participate in
Sure.
the sports that he's playing, so it's finally something that we can do together.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Now, do you have a cutoff time? Is it like no phones after 9 o'clock or?
My phone goes into do not disturb mode at
Okay.
9 p.m. and it doesn't wake up, I think, until like 6:30 or 7.
Yeah, I struggle with that for sure. I'm getting text messages at 11:30, and my wife's like, "Who's texting you?" I'm like, "It's a customer, baby. You can read my note. It's just a customer." Yeah.
I know. I'm long asleep by 11:30. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Yeah. That's a weakness.
Hey, it's okay. We all
sure.
struggle with something.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about some future goals, whether it's business, life, or whatever. Let's move the clock to 2025. We talked about the early stuff. 2025. What are some of the things that you'd like to accomplish? Some goals, business, life, whatever. Some boxes you want to check off to throw into the accomplishments.
Is it too early to talk retirement?
No, never.
I would love to retire. My Amazon bill won't allow me to retire.
It doesn't have to be a legitimate thing, but it could be a hope. You know what I mean? There could be some things.
I would like to actually reduce the amount of work that I'm doing in a couple years.
Sure.
I would like to expand my team. Right now I've got 2 people that work for me on a consistent basis, and then another photographer who kind of freelances. He works for a school system, so he can do like summer and weekends, that type of thing. So my team is growing, but I would like to grow it a little bit more so that I can kind of take a step back and maybe just focus on a lot of the big projects. Like I was recently hired by Google to do their headshots in their New York office. So we have a trip planned up there with my team of women. So yeah, we're going to go up to Google for the day. Let them pamper us with their free lunches and their awesome office. So
are you thinking a little bit more of the CEO type roles and less of the grunt work type stuff? Is that the plan to hire more people? Yeah, that's always been the toughest.
Here's my issue with that though, is that I'm a control freak. I really love to have that control over my product, and that's really hard when working with other people. The fear
that someone will never do it with the care and procedure that I'll do it. So I can't find another me, and I'm always scared to let go of the reins and trust someone that they'll do the same things that I'll do.
100%.
But you'll never find it, and you just have to accept that. You know what I mean? But if you find the right people that care the way you do, they don't have to put out the same product that you do. If they have the same heart and feeling that you do, then I believe that I trust that they'll put as much, whatever you want to call it, tender loving care, whatever the word is, into it as I do. And that's pretty much all I can ask for, you know. Right. That's another struggle.
And you have to also train yourself not to get caught up with the little things.
Sure.
Because they are little. And one of the reasons why I love real estate photography is because it's not like it's a wedding where, like, if you have to redo something, okay, you have to redo it.
You didn't screw up their
so
wedding.
It takes 2 hours out of your day.
Right.
Oh, big deal. In the grand scheme of things, you're not screwing up a $50,000 or $100,000 day for somebody.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I like that part of it.
Awesome. All right, now here's your personal question.
Okay.
We're going to do music. You can have any singer, songwriter, band, whatever, come to your house on Friday night and play 2 songs.
Okay.
They can be alive or dead. It can be anybody throughout it. Anybody. Who's the act, and what are the 2 songs that you want to hear them play?
Do I have to pick the same band, 2 different songs?
You can do it either way.
Okay, so 21 Pilots.
Okay.
I pick a song, any song. It doesn't matter. Anything from 21 Pilots, and I love. I've even brought my son to their concerts before. All right. So, yeah, definitely #1 band there. And I think Landslide.
Okay.
Stevie Nicks.
I
would love to see her, like, right there in my living room.
Nice.
Landslide, sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming by.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with the next guest on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.